But for me, at least, it's not a matter of like incremental changes, but it's just like it makes things possible that were not possible before in the first place. And maybe I'll put this on the background while we're doing this. So yesterday, and this again, by the way, and someone asked, but it doesn't take that long for you to like create those content pieces that you showed. Yes, but it took me months to create the systems that create them. So it's like AI is really fast when it's very well trained. So you put a lot of time in the beginning in training it and refining it, and then you get those insane results. But I think a lot of people kind of mix that quite often, that they think that it just automatically gives you those results. Those results come with really like proper training. So let me just put this here. So yesterday, we had a call with Maren. I have the GitHub repo for the basic skills that I've trained over the past months to create websites, live pages, all of those things that you've seen and gone through. And we went through your branding and your brand guidelines, etc. I think that took maybe like 30 minutes on the call. And then for me, some time on the back end building it for you. But what we basically created is based on those skills that were templated, and we just like filled in the elements that you needed in there. So you put some pictures in a folder, you added the fonts, we added the color codes and a few screenshots. And then based on that, the sub agent was trained to create your specific versions of the website, the live event page. And actually, this I didn't show you. You'll see it now. This is a 3-step free guide. So it's like when you have a mastermind, people go in there, they just like submit their name or email, then they get access to the Notion page that you've prepared for them or the page itself. And then there's a CTA page after. It's creating all of those now. And also we created an email template at the same time. So all the emails are in your brand as well. But yeah, so what it's doing, I'm not touching it, as you can see. The only time I talked to it was here. I gave it your folder because I have access. We have pushed yours into GitHub as a private repo. So when I make changes or you make changes, we push it there and then we can adjust on either end. So now it knows what to do based on your branding. Again, creating a website, all of these pages, all of the systems for these pages, like the functionality of actually when you do toggle in the email, all of these things, it would usually take much more time. I mean, it would take like weeks probably to sort it out. Or you would have to pay for, Kajabi or Squarespace or whatever it is, which actually does get quite expensive over time, especially if you start adding things like courses, videos, sign-ins. Like you can design if you want people to sign in, you can decide if not, you can collect payments, like all of those things you can do in different platforms, but they all come with a separate cost, right? So if you want to have a course where you have like a sign-up wall for someone to join and see videos, that's at least like $40 a month, I would say. A website builder, those are quite expensive these days. Also, I think it's probably like $100 a year minimum. If you want to have any kind of booking systems, those are the same. There are so many different platforms, I think, that we just like kind of toggle on, like one on top of the other. Yeah, and also one thing that I noticed is a lot of places where you sell things. So if you're selling digital products, for example, they take a massive chunk of your profits when anyone buys something. So you end up losing between 20 and 40%, depending on the platform, with the Stripe fees plus their fees. So it's really quite a massive saving to be able to build everything yourself. And literally what we are now seeing being built is going to be a website, Mastermind, and like free or paid resources with logins. So you are paying no one. These are really like solid web pages, the way that web pages have been built forever. You're not sending data to a third party or anything. Yeah, it's just like quite crazy to think about how all of these things, and I don't know how long you've been pondering and wanting to have a website, Maren. Maybe this relates to the time question as well. How long has it been on your mind?
2 years, actually.
Yeah, so 2 years.
Yeah, let's say, but also in the beginning, I realized, okay, maybe it's not the immediate priority, but then now it's been at least a year, like actively.
Yeah. And it's something that I know with every single person I work with, like I would have to build probably like at least 1 or 2 websites a year just because something changes and then you have to go through the things and they have different terms and then you're on a cheaper plan and then they triple the price and then you have to find another one. So there's like a lot of stuff that comes with when you're working with outside platforms where you just don't have control over. You don't have control over if they increase their pricing. You don't have control over if they limit all certain features. And quite often those are add-ons on top of add-ons. So you end up spending insane amounts of money just on the system that you have, like your digital presence, right? Whereas when you're using Claude Code as the foundation for everything, it's not only that you can build the pages with it, but because it knows your strategy, because it knows your, everything that you've told it, you can literally tell it to create a new product that would, for example, serve someone who can pay, let's say, like $30. It will understand what you have. It will understand your strategy or all of that. And it can create that for you in the format of either obviously a strategic conversation, but it can also just create the actual flow and the actual pages for it in the same session. And that's, again, I don't even know how much time that saves. It's probably be like a week of work at least to get that done in all these different platforms. So now it's building it. Let's see what it has. Now it has the guide. So as you can see here now, it has 4 agents running in parallel. So they're all building a different thing. One of them is building the homepage. The other one is building the events grid. So you have multiple events on that page. And then it has the event template and the guide template. So we're just seeing what it's doing here, and then it will open them on the browser so we can check them. So yeah, the time savings and the money savings, I find that they come from being able to own everything yourself and all of this being kind of behind the same payment wall or the same subscription that you have instead of having to purchase all these different platforms. And all these different platforms also have different privacy terms. They use your data for training their own systems. There's like a difference between what you own and what you give away to those platforms as well, which in this case you can actually own yourself. We're going to have a session about privacy and security specifically, where we're going to talk about what is shared and when. So let's see what we have. So we have new English pages here. Please open them on my browser so I can see them. So now I created the English versions based on what we have. We don't have the Chrome extension. It's just going to open them on my local server. So here we go. So here we have this one doesn't work because it's not hosted. So this one needs to be put into a hosting platform. That's the only thing that you need to do. Yes. So I don't know how good this language is in terms of translation. Hopefully it's decent. I know with translations, AI is not always the best. But yeah, this is based on just a Canva like dashboard that you sent to me yesterday. You can see obviously there's stuff missing. For example, we haven't put all the client pictures here yet, so it doesn't have them. Then we have the events. So this is the event page. So there are next events. And then there's the event page, which has the time. Again, all of this can be changed. So for example, if you wanted to delete this, just say delete this section or make this rounded or anything you want, you just tell it in plain language and it will literally edit it. So if you wanted to create like an event for alignment, you just tell it create an event for alignment and it will fill in everything. You just tell it will use the strategy documentation and what it knows about you and everything, and it will create that. And then you just tweak it. But yeah, these are all functional. When you toggle your email here, you will get the confirmation. All of these are there. And actually, when you got this in your repo, Maren, I know we haven't done this yet, but there's also like a step-by-step onboarding guide that's been designed to take you through the process of connecting to each one of the systems on the back end. And here is the Mastermind. You can duplicate a Notion template. So here, the first page is you have the kind of like sign up page. Here, you could have the questions. This is the content of your Mastermind. You can give this either before the session or after. This is now just a link to the Notion template. And the funny thing is that because I installed the Notion MCP, we could also create the Notion template here in the terminal, literally. So we could literally just be here and tell it to create a Notion template for this topic, and it would do it in Notion as well. So like slowly, the more you use it, the more you'll be able to do everything from this one funny little text window, which is quite insane, at least to me.
It's amazing. Yeah. So cool.